What's up, guys? How you doing? Good. You gonna sign up for camp? Yeah, you are. Don't tell me no. That does not work. Hey, so anyway, thanks so much for being here tonight. My name is Kelly. For those of you that are visiting, I'm over the middle school, so awesome 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to kind of switch things up on you, okay? Normally, I know we go into a set of worship through music, but we're going to switch things up, and I'm getting ready just to teach you for a little bit because like Matt said, we're in our second part of our 2-week series called BAE, right? And we learned last week that BAE, of course, y'all know what that means, right? Because that's what you say. It's like before anything or anyone else. And I left us off with a question last week that was, so what does it look like for God to be our before anyone else? What does that look like? And that is the question that I said we were going to be answering tonight. So it's kind of like a two-parter. And so you're going to walk out tonight knowing practically how to see if God is your before anyone else. So what I want to do is to start us off, I have a little game. I need two people. Let's see. Noah, come on up for me. Who else? Okay, waving in the arms in the back. Come on up there. Come on up here. Come up on stage. Where is Matt? Where's our handheld? Where's our mic? Can we get a microphone that works? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Never mind. Give us just a second, guys. This is live. This is what happens. Ta-da! Okay, so one of you hold this microphone, please. Tell everybody your name.
Okay. My name is Noah.
Hang on. We got it? There we go.
Okay.
Now we got it. We got this, guys. Yeah, tell them again.
My name is Noah.
All right, that's Noah.
I'm Thomas.
Thomas. Okay, so I have a question for you. Hey, guys. Somebody's talking up here. Remember what we do? You respect them. We listen. All right, so I have a question for you. It's a very important, a deep question that I know that you have thought a lot about. Are you ready for it? All right, are you ready? So my question is, how can you tell or how do you know if it's going to rain? What do you think? Deep question right here.
Looking on a weather app.
You would. Look on the weather app. There you go. Okay, not excluding a weather app. Thomas, what do you think? How can you tell if it's going to rain or not?
Go outside. There are the dark clouds. Is it cold?
Okay, awesome. All right. Anything else you want to add to that, Noah, other than the weather app?
No.
Thanks. Thanks so much, guys, for your deep answers. So you heard a little bit about what they said. So there are some ways, guys, that you can tell if it's going to rain. And actually, I looked this up, and there's just a handful of ways. You can look and see if there's clouds, like Thomas said. You can look at the sky. What else? There should be another one. You can, smell. I don't know. Can you smell if it's going to rain? And even the animals. So there are some things that you can check. There are some things that you can look at to predict, to see if, hey, I think this might happen. I think it might rain, okay? So take this game for a minute, and I'm going to press pause because we're going to go back to this idea of BAE. We're coming back to this game, okay? We're coming back to it, so hang on with me. So what I want to do is I want to jump into a passage that we're going to start off with tonight because there was this church struggling through their relationship with God as well. And that's what sometimes we do, our relationship with God. Sometimes we go back and forth with it. And God had some specific things that he wanted to say to them because maybe they were struggling if God was there before anyone else either. And so the passage is going to come up on the screen. But it's found in Revelation chapter 2, 2 through 5. And so read along with me as I read it, and let's find out what is this church going through, okay? So this is what God is saying to this church. He says, I know all the things that you do. I have seen your hard work and your patient endurance, okay? So they work hard, they're patient. I know you don't tolerate evil people. You have examined the claims of those who say they are apostles but are not. You have discovered that they are liars. Okay, so they can tell truth from error. That's good. You have patiently suffered for me without quitting. So they've suffered. But I have this complaint against you. It's God saying, you've done all these good things, but I have this one thing, this complaint against you. And he says, you don't love me, or you don't love others like you did at first. Like you did when I first had your heart. Like you did when you first came to know me. Look how far you have fallen. Turn back to me and do the works that you did at first. So what he's telling them is that it is possible to do all kinds of good things that you saw and you read, but be without love, and God still have some issues. God still want to talk to you more about some of those things. And that's what it comes down to for them. They didn't love Jesus like they did at first, and they didn't love others. And so when it comes to knowing if God is your before anyone or anything else, it comes down to the issue of love. And if you're taking notes tonight, some of you had your sheet. You're gonna look at it here in just a minute. You want to write that down, because that's the very thing that lets you know if God is really and truly your before anyone or anything else. It's love. And so it's possible, like we saw, that you can do a lot of good things, but not have love in your heart, and still have some things to work on, and for God to still not be your before anyone else. You've heard of 1 Corinthians 13. Those of you that have been in church, it's called the what chapter? Who knows it? Who knows what it's called? The what chapter? It's described as the love. You knew it. It's described as the love chapter. And so it even talks about that. Read along with me. It should come up on the screen. It says this: if I speak God's word with power, that's what I'm teaching, revealing all his mysteries and making everything plain as day. And if I have faith that says to a mountain, jump, and it jumps, but I don't have love, I'm nothing. If I give everything I own to the poor, everything I own to the poor, and even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr. I mean, that's what's going on today, y'all. But I don't have love, I've got nowhere. So no matter what I say, no matter what I believe and what I do, I'm bankrupt without love. You know what bankrupt is? It's like you got nothing. You got nothing in the bank, right? You got zero. You're bankrupt without love. So what does this look like in everyday life? So when I was in middle school and high school, and possibly maybe even, further along than that in college, but there were some times where, especially on the weekends, when it was time to do some chores, right? And mom and dad, they're like, hey, these are some things that you've got to do every week. You know this, okay? So maybe it was help my mom with the dishes after dinner. Maybe it was help her in the garden, because my mom loves flowers. She has a green thumb, and I don't. Or maybe it was, just take out the trash. So I'm doing these things that I know, guys, friends right here, I'm doing these things that I know that I'm supposed to be doing, right? So what does that look like, though, to be doing them without love? Well, it looks a little something like this. Like I'm probably putting the dishes in the dishwasher, and I'm slamming them a little bit harder than I should, or I close the thing just to let them know that I don't want to do this. Or maybe I'm picking up the weeds in mom's flower bed, and I'm just grumbling and mumbling, stupid weed, throw it out there. I don't even know why she cares about weeds. I don't care about flowers. And I'm just, I don't know why I have to do this. I could be at a friend's house swimming right now. I'm doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm complaining the whole time. My attitude, my lack of affection, my lack of something is saying that I don't have an attitude that I should be having. And most of the time, my mom and dad would still get in trouble, right? You'd still get in trouble. Because they say, it's your what? It's your attitude, Kelly. You ever had that said to you before? It's your attitude. I'm doing these things. And so what it comes down to is what I was doing was revealing what I felt. What I was not doing was revealing that I didn't have love in my heart. And that's because of this truth, is that affections reveal our love. Affections, being with someone, affectionate about something, speaking good into it, reveal our love. Just like when you don't have affections, it can reveal that you don't have love. And so it's really awesome to see that in the Bible, it gives us a good picture of what this looks like so that you can understand what it looks like to be affectionate towards someone, so that will reveal if you have love or not. How many of you ever been to a wedding before? Anybody? So, oh, good. So you've either been to a wedding before or you've seen one on TV. So you know this idea. And so you've all been around, right, those newlywed couples, right? It takes all of maybe 5 seconds to realize that they're a newlywed couple. Why? Because you know they're in love with one another, because they can't stop talking with one another, and it's so cute, and she's following him around, and he's like so in love, and he's just, man, she's just awesome, and it's just so much. Sometimes you're like, oh, please, but you can tell that they have love for one another because of their affections. And did you know that God actually talks about that as being a picture of what our relationship with Him should almost look like, guys? He says it in Jeremiah 2:2. It says, "Go and shout this message to Jerusalem. This is what the Lord says. I remember how eager you were to please me as a young bride." Just like probably those brides that you've seen. "How eager you were to please me as a young bride long ago. How you loved me and you followed me, even through the barren wilderness." How you loved me and how you followed me. And that creates this truth that was the second point that I want to tell you tonight. And that's that feet always follow affection. Our affections reveal if we have love for others and for God. But our feet will always follow where our affections are. Where if you are affectionate about football and you love and you can tell and you are cheering it on and you talk about it and you represent it by what you wear and you speak about it and you attend the games, you can tell that you're affectionate about it, and your feet are going to follow where you are affectionate about, because wherever your feet are, there you are. And so you can tell those things. And that's what God is saying. He's saying to His church, and He's saying to me and you, that a good way to indicate, to know that if you're before anyone else, is I'm looking at your affections. Do you love me, and will you follow me? Do you love me, and do you follow me? And so I could not let you go tonight without showing you one of my most favorite examples of what this looks like from a movie that I watched as a kid, Little Rascals. So y'all check out this video clip. Oh, Alfalfa, you're sweetie poo, huh? So we laugh at Alfalfa. All right, guys, bring it back in. Bring it back in. We laugh at Alfalfa, but here's the thing. You could tell that he loved Darla, couldn't you? You knew it. It was pretty obvious. Yes, he did. Somebody's like, nope. Yeah, he did. You could tell because of what? Because his affections revealed his love. And as his affections went, his feet followed. He sang to her. He wrote poems to her. He was with her in a nice boat, and he took her on this little outing for the afternoon. He was willing to give up his He-Man's Woman Haters Club thing for her. He was willing to follow Darla. He was willing to do all of these things. And as silly as that sounds, guys, and as silly as that looks for someone so little to be able to do that, God is saying to you and to I tonight, to me, that maybe those were some of the things that we can learn in our relationship with Him. Because just like at the beginning when we went through that game, we said that there were some checklists, there were some things that could indicate whether or not there was going to be rain, right? And I said we were going to come back to that. Because just like you can do that for weather, something as simple as weather, there are some things that in my life and in your life that you can check. You can do a checkup, so to speak, spiritually to reveal if whether or not God is really here before anyone else. And that's what I put in your hands tonight. So take a look at the sheet as we end. What I want you to do is I want you to take this, and I made this so that it could fit. If you're like me, I like it to be put in my Bible. I like for there to be sheets that I can put in my Bible. But what I did, I just gave you a heart check, an indicator, guys. Everybody should have one each. There you go. And just like we did that at the beginning in the game, you can look and you can see the first thing is that affections reveal your love. And so you want to ask tonight, where are your affections? Where are your affections? Because that's going to reveal if you love God or not. And I gave you 4 or 5 questions to think through and to honestly say, hey, do I love God's word more today? Am I willing to get in his word and learn more about him? Because just like Alfalfa learned about Darla, you learn about what you love. Right, girls? Do I love my family more today? There are some questions, and I put the scriptures out there that you can go, and I want you to look back, and I want you to look at them and see and honestly say, do I love God more today? Is he my before anyone else? And so ask, where are my affections? And the second thing that you want to ask is, where's my feet? What I mean by that is, what about my time and what about my words? It was easy to tell that Alfalfa had affections and love for Darla because he spent time with her, and his words, he spoke words to her. He even sang to her. That was an expression of worship. He didn't care what anybody else thought. He didn't care if his friends were making fun of him. He was willing to do those things. And so what I challenge you as you walk out here tonight, y'all, is that I want you to be honest before God, because that's the way that you're going to be able to tell is if God is your before anyone or anything else. Is to go through these lists of questions and just be honest with God and spend time with him. And so as I said before the message began, that we're flip-flopping it. And that we're fixing to go into a time of worship, and the band's actually coming up right now. And so we're going into a time of worship. Hey, Matt, can you go and get them for me? The band, can you go get that for me? And so we're getting ready to go into a time of worship. And what I want you to do, I want to invite you to respond. Guys, I want you to focus right here, okay? Just like Alfalfa was able to sing to Darla, he expressed it through song. He expressed his love. His affections came out. I'm inviting you tonight as we sing these couple of songs to not be afraid to show your affection to God. Because what I've noticed is that, again, our indicators will tell if we love God or not. And sometimes I'm afraid that in our times of worship that it's become more of a time for y'all to talk and hang out with your friends, like some of you are doing tonight. And what that's indicating to me, what that shows, if I'm looking, and what that's revealing is that you're not affectionate towards God and that it's not a big deal to you. And that's just the way that it is. And you can change that, though. And so what I'm challenging you tonight, not just girls, but I'm challenging guys in our middle school ministry to not be afraid to sing to Jesus. If he has done all of what he has done that we talked about last week, then we should at least be willing to sing and be willing to go into this time of worship with all that we are. If you're in here tonight and you don't know Jesus, then don't sing to him. That's cool. Don't sing to him. If you don't love him, then don't. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to respect this time for those that do. And for us to enter into this time with a better attitude and a more loving attitude, okay? And so how about y'all go ahead and stand up for me and place your sheets right at the bottom of your chairs.